Good morning, YouTube, from Robert Firestone in the flyover state known as West Virginia. It's 10:07 a.m., 5/17/2019. I think finally the world's waking up a little. There's an individual I watched, name of Icons, brought to my attention. I should have watched it last night, but I didn't. I watched it this morning, and it made good sense. This video, I'm going to apply a lot of making fun of the so-called Democratic and Republican Party, and the criminals are about ready to be served their last hamburger. So Miss A.O. Smith, be happy. Okay. Icons went into digging up, looking through the Constitution, and I kind of skimmed through it myself because I got a pocket Constitution and a pocket Bill of Rights, and kind of skimming through it myself, and I couldn't find no references to this either. Okay, look through any of it and see if y'all can find any references to the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. So why do we have these fucking idiots making judgment calls for grown-ass adults? Okay, this wasn't intended from our forefathers, the ones that actually puts pen to paper, the ones that sat around in the bars for 18, 19 hours, smoking dope, drinking liquor, beer, wine, whatever their familiar spirit was at that time. But anyway, that's just one part of this giant puzzle that we're all dealing with as the human race. Because this black-white thing, all of these religions, I think Ozzy said it best in his one album, Black Rain. I don't need another savior. There's only one God. Okay? And that's who I talk to, have conversation with, our Father. Okay? People, you don't, Christianity's got a big smear on it. And I'm still smoking my old damn cigarettes. I apologize to all of y'all out there for the popping and cracking last time. I'm hoping it's a lot less this time. Apparently, like I said, I was telling one individual that new laptop, new camera. I was thinking about having to go buy a mic, and I looked on it this morning, and it was set on high def, best quality. And I turned it down to just good, just to see, and I've done a few tests. There might be a few more pops and cracks here and there, but I've noticed too, if I keep myself more of a monotone like I am now, it's not as bad. And like I said, I apologize for that, and for all of y'all out there that had to put up with that mess. But anyway, let's get on into the Democratic race. There's 23 now, jumped into the ring. Okay. The circus. Okay. New head clown is de Blasio from New York. Okay. And you know that he's a clown when his own people, okay, is laughing at him. And they're actually putting it into the local newspapers that they're laughing at him. Okay. If anything, for most people, hopefully it'll wake them up to show them that these people that wants to so-called lead us cannot even lead themselves. So how do they think we need somebody that don't even half the time show up to work, de Blasio? Okay. The View, Whoopi Goldberg, she was laughing and making fun of him. Your left-wing, sociopathic, bunch of women, okay, that knows more than God. Ask them. Now, they'll tell you. Okay. Whoopi's got a little bit more intelligence than some of them sitting there because of where she come from. Because there's these things that keeps coming flying back into her head. I know because I know where she come from. She come out of San Diego. She was a maid. She was also a crackhead. Okay, she got a start, and she seen opportunity to quit being stupid. So now after she got so far in her career, now she's back trying to play stupid. Okay. The rest of the Democratic Party. Bernie, and if any of y'all out there, young ones, think that Bernie's some kind of savior for y'all gonna get free this, free that. Here again, there's an old saying. There's nothing free. Okay? There's reasons for these old sayings, people. If you're not willing to pay attention, okay, our history should be life lessons. Most of us understand that. If y'all want this new Green Deal and y'all want the Bernie, I tell you what, I'll give you a challenge. Take your $600 or $1,000 iPhone, Samsung, whatever the hell you carry, smartphone, lay it down for 5 days. Don't touch it. See where that gets you. Okay? Gotta have an understanding. There's things coming that a lot of these fools and idiots are not going to be ready for. Okay, this is also a kind of a warning video to all the crooks and criminals that run around with their titles, known as lawyers, judges, law enforcement. Okay, if there is such thing as rule of law, I think Mr. Barr's about ready to bring it back in. Okay, I hadn't seen rule of law other than wrote down on a piece of paper. Okay, and I hope for the ones that did understand my last video, take this word, write it down on a piece of paper. Mine's laying here on my desk in front of me. I walked around for 2 or 3 days. I've cussed it. It has, as of yet, to jump up and cuss me back. Okay, words. Other people, y'all gonna be totally surprised and shocked on what's about ready to come down. If it can be proven on what's going down, we're about ready to get back to a republic. This democracy that everybody runs around and upholds like it's something virtuous. It is not. By no means. I've tried to explain this to other people. Go break the word down, democracy. Go look the word up. Break down the syllables. There's these things that we used to use all the time called books. They're called dictionaries. Okay? You might want to start there. Okay. Our rules, our laws, our so-called bullshit that we're supposed to be following. Okay? They wasn't intended for real human beings. If what's really going to be strange to find out for most people is we've been leading a life of pure, unadulterated fantasy. Okay? A lot of people ain't going to understand this. And this is another reason I'm making this video. Okay. To get somewhat into the depth of what I'm trying to get into here, words do not mean what you think they do. Okay? I've heard other so-called attorneys and other people that's been studying this too, trying to say that it don't make a difference. Yeah, it does make a difference. Especially when you've been encoded from cradle to grave with words. okay? And they've been twisted, turned. The justice system, they jumped in, like I said, and started turning our so-called government shows up, the Republican and Democrat. And it's like Icon was saying, he can't find no reference nowhere in our Constitution, Bill of Rights, or anything for having any reason for any of these people under a so-called two-party system. We're only supposed to have two choices in all this, the right or the left, okay? That's like the two tattoos that I carry on my chest, okay? God's on my right, my Lord, Savior, Jesus Christ. Satan's on my left. That theory has always been here. It tells you in the Bible. No, not, let's see if forgive me if I misquote this. I'll just do it in a relative term. Don't let your left hand know what your right is doing. Okay? And I believe these was encoded type messages for us to have an understanding that the left-leaning party known as Democrats is the left and the right-leaning is the Republican. Okay. But these titles, the Republican and Democrat, is nowhere to be found in our rules, regulations that we should be following as human beings. Okay. You go in and you start looking at all the law libraries, okay, and the books that's been dedicated to this stupidity is known as law, okay. You fall back into the original, okay, and it is constitutional and it's common law. If if you destroy no property, two, if you hurt no one or kill no one, there's only two laws that should apply, period. That's the only two. Okay? Our right to travel comes under codes and statutes. Our taxation comes under codes and statutes. Y'all ain't got to believe me. Go look for yourself. I don't want you to believe me, because the less you believe me, the more you will once you actually stick your nose into that book and read it for yourself. There's only two things that means anything, okay? Well, three things. For the human being, for me, as a man, my word, okay, should be a verbal contract no matter what and who or whatever the situation is that I use, okay? Truth and facts. These three things. Your word can be broken, of course. We do it all the time. Mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, neighbors, we do it all the time, okay? Well-meaning situations don't always mean that we're going to uphold our word, okay? And the truth and facts, they don't lie. There ain't no half glass, half full, half empty. It's either the truth and a fact of the truth, or there's none at all. Okay? Oh, excuse me. Myself, I'm trying my best to put myself in a situation with West Virginia, because I am an individual human being that lives in West Virginia, so that makes me a West Virginian. If you live in Virginia, you're a Virginian. If you live in North Carolina, you're a North Carolinian. That's how our forefathers intended it to be. And you start digging back into your history and you start realizing that every state in the United States was supposed to be in basically its own country. Its own rules, regulations, this, that, and the other. We were never supposed to fall under this dictatorship known as government. Our own forefathers put certain things in our Constitution to keep this from happening. One was our Second Amendment. Shall not be infringed upon. For the retardeds, go look the words up And if you still can't get it out of Webster's dictionary, go look it up in the law books. Okay? The shall not, okay, changed in any way. Okay. Now, let's get on to the social media. This is a warning to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Whether y'all willing to pay attention to this or not, you better hope you're on the right side of the fence, because the storm just started breaking. And what I'm seeing and hearing and understanding in the background, the things that's going on right now, okay, is going to be a shitstorm on y'all. Y'all just don't know it yet. Okay. For the ones that like working for these people, give me, I got a spot, there we go, well, on my screen of my laptop, but anyway, for the ones that work for these media platforms, these social medias that like their jobs, okay, y'all may want to make sure that you're on the right side of the fence when the wire starts getting cut, because there's going to be a stampede like y'all have never ever seen. My speculation, and this is all it is, Trump set up that federal website for us to go and comply our complaints against these people. There is going to be, this is the way I'm seeing it, there is going to be a human race issue when it comes to our human rights. Icon had this 100%. And this is how Icon has been fighting his battles with these people. They do not have the right to take human rights. Period. Okay? They can have all kinds of codes, statutes, and their bylaws of their company. That's fine. But when you start trying to hush us up, you don't have that right. YouTube, okay? Facebook, okay? Any of the rest of you, you do not have that right. I do believe we're going to have a national lawsuit when this is all said, done, and over with. Okay? And like I said, they're not going to be willing nor able to fight against this, because the so-called blocks and bricks of our justice system is being put back together a little at a time. Okay? Like I've tried to explain this to other people when it comes to law. Okay? The only reason their codes and statutes work, okay, against us, we was foolish enough not to understand them, okay, because part of it is us being as human beings. We have this side of us called trust, okay, benefit of the doubt. We find ourselves being over trustworthy with people, and part of it boils down sometimes to just pure laziness. Okay, some people's not going to agree with what I got to say here when it comes to when I say this, are churches, and I don't even really believe in half of them anymore, was supposed to be the gatekeeper to keep this from happening. But here we go again. I'm going to explain this to people too. This cabal, deep state, it's had many words added to it in its past history, all the way up to now. It's changed its spots, colors. It's like a chameleon. Whatever it needed to fit into, it changed its name to make itself more prominent and move ahead. Okay? Because this way it was confusing to most people. And I do understand the way to take a country down two main ways. And for anybody that really wants to stop and think about this, you'll see what I'm trying to say. First thing you need to learn how to do is control the money. If you control the money, you can control the flow of everything in that country. Then you captivate the young people that's coming up in that country to go along with whatever you want them to say or do. If you don't think this is true, turn on your 6 o'clock news and see how much truth you get out of CNN, NBC, ABC, or any of these so-called networks. There's only 6 major ones. But we've got, what, at least 10 to 12 different categories of ketchup. But we only have 6 major news networks or owners of networks. Do you not see how this is being played on every one of us? Okay, on to your, or our government officials, okay? Like I said, myself, I will be voting for Trump, okay? I also know it's been rumored that the situation with Trump and the things that's going on out here, okay? H22 Report puts out a report, and I've been kind of speculating on this for quite a while without any really known way of proving it, and it still wasn't proving it. It was propping up my speculation. Trump and his business advisors, financial advisors, the ones he trusted the most, was out here before the election, before he got into office, I think 2 or 3 years beforehand. And they was having backdoor shadow meetings about our financial system here in the United States and the world. Okay? There was a lot of groundwork, track laid, say, before Trump got into office. Okay? For any of these foolish countries that don't really understand, and I think they do, it's just here again, our media don't want to tell me or you or anyone else the truth because they're owned by the same masters, okay, that we're supposed to be following, and we're not. Okay? These things that's coming down is going to be a benefit. It's going to hurt sometimes. It's going to slow us down. Some's going to feel it worse than others. The basic necessities, if you got food, water, a warm, dry place to lay down, we should see this as blessings and have an understanding that just them 3 basic principles in life, okay, is enough to abstain till we get pulled and turned around. But I believe these shadow broker deals that Trump was setting up was also to help the cushion of this stuff when it falls apart. Let's see. Let's see. Is the old lady? What's my woman want? Okay. How you doing? How you feeling? Well, give me 1 second. I am doing well, and I am feeling pretty good. Love you. Wow, I actually spelt it like I actually said it. But anyway, she'll probably hit me back again here in a second. But anyway, these backdoor shadow deals, it was the cushion, the padding, the things that was to help us get through this. Okay, these other countries that keeps playing games like China. I don't know if this is a game, and I'm kind of, for my age and my understanding and wisdom of what's going on, after you have an understanding that business people, politicians, bankers, they all play by a certain set of rules and their outcomes of things. But they also, if they're any good at what they do, they try to plan for any kind of contingency that fails on them. So they've got another one to go to, or another one, or another one, or another one. Okay? So, not saying this is going to be a wonderful, great thing for all of us at first. It probably won't. People like me that's on a basic income because of Social Security and my heart disease, where I had my heart attack and had open heart surgery. My main thing is I'm going to make sure I got a little bit of food, a little bit of extra ammo. The deep state is not totally defeated yet, but it's heading that direction. The history of the deep state goes back so far. The Illuminati, if you keep going back, it had different names through history. Okay. What started turning me on to it was Brother Murray, Shepherd's Chapel, the Four Hidden Dynasties. Once you look at the Four Hidden Dynasties, you start seeing how the spiderweb of the Four Hidden Dynasties interferes with every one of our lives from cradle to grave. I'm hoping I can say this right off the top of my head. You have the political, you have the financial, the educational, and the religious system. Them four things. Okay. All four of them things are interlocked together. All four of them things interlock with our money, our everyday life, our clothes, our food. I heard a good blessing this morning that Monsanto's is being defeated as we speak now. The buying of it, let's see. Making video for YouTube. Side feels pretty good. Love you. Be careful. Okay. She'll still probably hit me back again. Okay. Monsanto's was a black op operation to mess with our food. Okay. To slow kill us. And a lot of people don't want to hear this because, oh, it's just a conspiracy theory. No, I'm telling y'all. This is what I kept trying to tell everybody 5 years ago. They kept hollering, oh, it's just a conspiracy theory. Ooh, my back popped. It's a little hard to be a conspiracy theory, okay? Forgive me. Okay. It's a little hard to be a conspiracy theory that when you can go to the government websites known as the CIA, the FBI, the DOJ, all these other alphabet agencies, and start digging into what they call the white papers, okay? And every one of these agencies has these documents that's there in black and white. And for the people that don't want to believe that we was going to be a food source for these freaking idiots, go read them papers. Not just one agency, but all of them. Agriculture, BLM, CIA, FBI. There's so many that there's so many that I can't even say them all. Okay? That's when I started putting two and two together, Then our Bible speaks of this new world order. Then Bush comes along, starts harping about his new world order. Things started laying out in perfect harmony, in my brain anyway. And people could say I'm paranoid, this, that, and the other. I don't care. You don't like what I got to say, I'm sorry about that too. We all have opinions, but sometimes opinions are facts and truth, whether you like that or not. Okay. You dumbasses up there right now Pelosi, Schumer, the rest of you rhinos, you might want to start packing your bags. You might want to be trying to figure out a way out of this, because the hammer's first, then it's going to be the axe. And what I've been hearing out of some other prosecutors that's been talking about Barr hiring this prosecutor or having this prosecutor investigate, he has the ability to prosecute. These prosecutors understood that for somebody to have that kind of ability to be an investigator, Trump and Barr must be after way more than just a few little idiots at the top. Okay? The ones that y'all use for your fall guys. Your fall guys is going to be snitching, rolling over on top of y'all, looking at any way out. So, all y'all that's been playing this game with the world, I can't just say the United States, the world, okay? Y'all's asses better be jumping up and heading to some other country or a hidden island, because it's coming after you too. So, this is kind of a warning to y'all. And these social media giants, do you not understand that y'all involved in this too? Okay? Zuckerturd. I got this weird feeling your stockholders will probably throw you in a trash can probably in the next couple of weeks, because it's already being speculated and being talked about already, getting rid of your dumb ass. Okay? For the ones that's trying to hold on to that brass ring that has been created for y'all, and y'all's little plan that was set forth many years ago to have this done, there's no more fooling the general population. For the ones that's woke, and for the ones that's not, the younger generation, the ones that want to call themselves educated. Like I was trying to explain the other day, that's even a falsehood and a sham, even on y'all. Okay? I don't know how many college courses I've took in my life. Okay? And I had to have an understanding that the only way, the worst that I ever done was a B on anything I ever took, mechanically or technically. I had to have an understanding that for me to pass this course in this college class, I had to pick up a book, okay, read that book, study that book, okay, to regurgitate it at the end of the week on a test for a passing grade. That's all it is. It don't make you no smarter than the guy or the girl sitting behind you or in front of you. If every one of you can read, remember enough, okay? And these books, a lot of times, is even formatted and constructed, okay, for our minds to follow and to be able to remember. I've heard psychiatrists even say that people that was having a hard time learning, they would read something one time and thought that's how it worked. No, if you want the human mind to pick up on something, you should read it more, at least 3 times or more. And as you're reading this 3 times or more, you repeat it to yourself kind of out loud or enough to where you can audibly hear it. Okay? That's how we learn. Okay. Other than learning things the hard way. And what I mean by that is, how many times did this and this take you to figure out it hurt? It didn't do but one time for me, I don't know about y'all, but anyway, like I said, it amazes me. Now there's 23 Democrats, okay, trying to jump on the presidential train, thinking that this is going to be a benefit to them and somehow or another it's going to save them from prison time, okay? It don't work that way. Because in this fact, there is truth. And in this truth, there is facts, okay? You can't pollute a fact or a truth. I don't care how your mainstream media wants to spin it. It is especially when it's coming from your lapdogs and your masters, and they have proof of it now. Well, I think they've had proof of it for quite a long time, because this has been going on for a whole lot longer than Trump's been in office. For anybody that really wants to know, I've always been keeping up with Harvey Dent because of the situation with our Social Security cards and our birth certificates. Harvey's living in a place there in California that is near a federal prison, and supposedly Heather Antucci was in that prison. Well, Harvey's been trying for, I believe, almost a month now to gain access to Heather and talk to Heather. Okay? The prison system started off putting him through the regular, jumping through the hoops on what he had to do to gain access to the prisoner, but they had to go ask the prisoner if it was okay for this individual to come talk to them as an interview. Now the individual that he was going through, okay, prison official, under the press, tells him that, they write him some kind of form letter, and he tries to regain contact with this lady, and she won't answer none of his phone calls or none of his emails. So, for the ones that don't know, Heather Antucci and Randall Bean, okay, set forth to prove that we have been robbed of our money from cradle to grave, okay? And the Federal Reserve, the central banks, has been the criminals in all of this, not us, okay? To put this bluntly and quickly for everybody to understand, the day that me, you, or anyone else that sees this video, the day we was born in the corporate hospital, there was two of us being born. There was a live human being that bleeds, farts, pisses, sees, talks, and there was also another one being born on a piece of paper that's called the straw man. Okay? Everything we, as the walking around individual, believes, okay, we are this individual on that piece of paper. No, we're not. It was made up, orchestrated, and designed, okay, for us to believe that. I know a lot of people's going to have a hard time facing that fact. Okay, I'm not going to stay on here too much longer. I'm hoping I piqued the interest and that little curiosity thing in the back of all of our brains that wants us to go forth and find out, is that true? Is he lying to me? I'm hoping I do challenge a few brain cells to rub together today. I hope. And on to the Garcia and Norcia. I'm not saying it correctly, forgive me. Got some teeth missing, and my tongue don't work so well, and my teeth no more. But anyway, this law, my understanding, it's already being implemented in some HR bills, and they're sitting there ready to be passed. I won't go into a lot of that. If y'all are interested, I know I'm not going to say it right, Garcia, or Norcia, one's global, one's national for us. Okay. Y'all want to really freak out? Okay. And people try to say this don't exist, blah, 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 blah. Well, I tell you this, it was orchestrated and put into law by Bill Clinton. Okay. It had to be done by a barrel of a gun. Okay. People's even admitting it now. Military had to go in and threaten his life for him to sign that paper. Then as soon as it got put out there, they had the so-called high court put an NDA on it, okay, and nobody's to talk about it. They tried to hide it. But bits and pieces of it got out. Bits and pieces of it shows what's really going on. So y'all can see it as you want. That's up to y'all. There's going to be a lot of real interesting things be coming down soon. And they said the Lord has he has his own time schedule. One day with the Lord is like 1,000 years. Only thing I can ask for this is, I pray every night for the hedge of protection over our president and the ones that's marching forward to do the right things to put our Lord back in his rightful seat. Okay? Once these things starts taking place, we'll start seeing a whole different world. And these wars and rumors of wars, remember our Bible states these things. Okay? There's a whole lot of rumors right now. Okay? Of things happening, or supposedly going to happen. Don't buy into them, people. Have an understanding that's all they are until somebody pulls the trigger or pushes a button or rolls out a tank or flies a helicopter or kills somebody. There ain't no war. It's all rumors. Remember, rumors and fear has been one of their biggest tools for many, many years. Lord bless every one of you. Y'all have a good day. I've probably run my mouth too much. But anyway, peace to all y'all, and forgive. I hope my audio's a lot better now. Like I said, I've noticed too my monotone, if I get too loud, it pops and cracks. I had to go in and cut the best quality down to so-called good so I could actually gain that, but I did hopefully turn my optimization up on my resolution. I hope that looks a little better. I bought the same camera that I had before, thinking, okay, maybe the other one was bad. So I should have went ahead and bought me a 1080p. I think next month I probably will. But anyway, peace to all y'all. Hope y'all have a great day. I hope, if anything, like I said, this will help start people to have an understanding that this confusing world we live in was designed that way purposely, because if there's always confusion, you never have the time to stop, stand back, and look at the bigger picture. This division, same way, the black and white against, us against each other, okay? Money, no money, college, no college, educated, not educated, skill levels, all this has stuff been used against us for many, many years. Every one of us is vital. Every one of us has our valued opinions. Every one of us has a say-so, especially in our own lives. When they go and try to tell us that we don't have no say-so, they're our lords and masters, they can kiss my freaking ass. Period. And I will get to sit back and watch about half of them run their ass off to try to get away. And y'all will be able to. Peace.